Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Jen J, and today's video is going to be all about my colored hair. If you haven't noticed, my hair's been dyed this beautiful ginger color. You can call me Ginger from now on. And with color comes great responsibility. So today I am going to share with you exactly how I take care of my color treated hair. And I know a lot of you guys are a little concerned when it comes down to coloring your natural hair because of the potential damage. I'm not going to take that away, but if you are going to color your hair, it is very important that you take care of your hair. That kind of rhymed. So today's video is going to be all about how I care for my color treated hair. Roll the intro. So after I dyed my hair, I got so many messages from a number of you guys that are extremely concerned when it comes to dyeing your natural hair, especially if you're going to bleach your hair. And also the potential damage that may happen afterwards if you don't take care of your natural hair properly. I think there are so many horror stories online of people who dyed their hair and things did not go well. So of course there's a reason why we feel this way, but I'm here to tell you that if done properly, your hair does not have to be damaged. My hair, so far, so good. She's doing well. So of course, bleaching your hair is a chemical process. So it's going to break some of the bonds in your hair. It's going to remove some of the proteins. I don't know the recipe, girl, but it is going to affect your hair to a certain degree. When it comes to doing something so drastic to your natural hair, such as lifting the color, my first step will be to see a professional. Leave it to someone who knows what they're doing, not just any stylist, okay? Make sure that you do your research, you stalk whoever you want to see, and also see some of their work, because 2021 is the year of the receipts. If someone does not have the receipts to let you know that they can do what you want them to do, then find someone else. Just find someone else. I actually checked with the stylist that I saw, Zermala. She is excellent. I would highly recommend her. I will put all her information down below. And I checked in with her and she actually gave me some of her top tips on how to take care of your natural hair, especially if you're going to get it bleached, if you're going to get it colored, and also how to care for your hair afterwards. So those are the tips that I'm going to share with you today, straight from a professional. First thing first, hair care is extremely important. No matter what, whether you have your hair colored or not, having a routine that you can go through every week, yes girl, I said it, every single week, is going to keep your hair in tip-top shape. It's also very important for you to take care of your ends, especially when you have colored hair. So making sure that you have a consistent or a regular trimming schedule, as well as protecting your ends and your hair when you go to sleep. And that leads me to today's sponsor. This portion of the video is sponsored by Lily Silk. Lily Silk is where you can find all kind of quality silk products such as blouses, pajamas, pillowcases, hair bonnets, bedding, and more. They use mulberry silk, which has a lot of benefits for your skin and hair. Silk pillowcases and bonnets are amazing for our hair because silk helps retain moisture in our hair as it doesn't absorb our natural oils, and it reduces friction that could cause tangles and ultimately breakage and split ends. And we all hate that. Mulberry silk is also very breathable, and it also won't absorb your skincare, so you can sleep better knowing that your hair and skin is protected. So who doesn't want to feel like they're sleeping in a little bit of luxury? I like to double up when it comes to my hair, so I use both a bonnet and silk pillowcases. And that honestly comes in so handy for the days where I don't reach for my bonnet. I know that my hair is still protected. This top that I'm wearing today is also by Lily Silk, and I feel so luxurious right now. I feel kind of expensive. It is so soft. It feels amazing on your skin. I will put all the links in the description box, especially to this top, the bonnet, and the pillowcases that I have, so that you can check them out and shop at your leisure. Tip number 2 is to allow your color to settle before you start washing your hair. Z recommended that I did not wash my hair for about 7 to 10 days after I got my hair colored, but really she wanted me to stretch my hair to 2 weeks, which is exactly what I did. So the rationale behind that is that you want the color to settle in your strands before you start washing it, and ultimately that will allow your color to last longer. It's important to note that I did clarify my hair a week before I got my hair colored, so I was able to last 2 weeks without going crazy. and not washing my hair, but it's recommended to kind of stretch that initial color deposit so that it stays and settles in your hair nicely before you start washing. The third tip is to minimize the use of chelating or clarifying shampoos. As you go through your weekly wash day routines, and you are washing your hair weekly, right? As you wash your hair weekly, opt for moisturizing shampoos versus shampoos that are going to strip your color. Because at the end of the day, your color is going to strip, but you want to, you know, get the maximum amount of time out of your color. You know what I mean? So you don't want to use a clarifying shampoo too often. You can use a clarifying shampoo every 8 to 10 weeks, but not too often, because that's going to strip your color and it's not going to last as long. I mean, when it comes to hair care in general, you shouldn't be clarifying too often. So I feel like a lot of the tips from just taking care of your hair in general still applies to taking care of color treated hair. But I just want to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing if you decide to color your hair. Point number 4 is to be gentle when washing your hair. So on a weekly basis, make sure that you're using a moisturizing shampoo so you're not stripping the color too much. But if you are going to wash your hair more often than a week, depending on lifestyle, if you work out, if you sweat a lot, then you may incorporate a gentle cleansing conditioner. I know I don't like to recommend cleansing conditioners because I just feel like you might as well wash your hair. But when it comes to color treated hair, you don't want to wash too often. So if you are going to wash your hair more than once a week, then go ahead and use a cleansing conditioner to take care of your hair in between washes. So the name of the game is to be gentle with your color treated hair. Now, about retouching. The best time to retouch your hair is 2 to 3 months after you initially get your hair colored. So basically, you want to wait till you have about an inch of new growth. And as a little reminder, hair grows on average ½ an inch a month. So 2 to 3 months will be a sweet spot for you to touch up your color. She recommends that this is the perfect time to avoid that line of demarcation. You know, the line that you have where your hair is growing out and then there's the color treated hair. I'm starting to have it because my color is growing out a little bit. So I'm going to wait till I have about an inch of new growth and then touch up my color. You don't want to wait too long, and you also don't want to just not color your hair after that, because that can actually cause some breakage, I hear. I don't know why, but I think just managing the two textures may be problematic. I don't know, girl. I feel like I'm giving you wrong information right now. So, I mean, if you're going to commit to getting your hair colored, right, you might as well make sure that you are on a regular schedule. So, getting your hair colored, I can see how it can be expensive, especially if you have a lighter color, such as blonde. Blonde is known to be a bit more expensive to upkeep, but just make sure that you are getting your hair regularly touched up or colored, especially when you start having about an inch of new growth. That's what's been recommended. That's what I was told, girl, and I'm letting you know. Stretching out your color process, especially beyond the 1 inch mark, is actually going to stress your hair out, and also it's going to cost you more in the long run, because many stylists or many colorists, they don't consider it a touch-up anymore if you have more than an inch, so you'll pay more for your service, versus if you have less than an inch, then they could just touch your hair up. So, you know, talk to your stylist, obviously, talk to your colorist and see what they recommend and how often they want you to go, but it's not recommended for you to just grow your hair out and then just come back and say you want to touch up, but your hair is like 6 inches long, you know? So be aware and stay on a regular color schedule. Deep conditioning is key when it comes to color treated hair. Your hair will be drier post color, so it's important that you regularly deep condition your hair so that you can infuse moisture into your strands. Honestly, that's like music to my ears, because I love some good deep conditioning sessions. So if you tell me to deep condition because of the color, girl, you don't have to tell me twice. It's interesting for me. I actually haven't noticed that my hair is any drier with the color. And I also think it may be because of this no oil, no butter journey that I'm on. So my hair is just more hydrated overall. So if anything, my hair feels softer. It doesn't feel drier with the color. Like, my hair doesn't feel any different. Like, it's crazy. I want to say maybe the first like 2 weeks, I posted my color online, and so many people answered me and said that my hair was going to be damaged. So I swear for the first 2 weeks I had it in my mind that my hair was damaged, but now I'm just like, my hair feels and looks the same. It does feel more hydrated, especially when I wash my hair. When I infuse hydration into my hair, it feels a lot more hydrated, but my hair does not feel any drier than it used to feel. If anything, it feels more hydrated now. I am going to say though, one thing that I've noticed is that my hair does feel different when it's wet. When it's entirely wet in the shower and I wash it, it feels a little bit more like Velcro for a little bit, and then when I add my conditioner or my deep conditioner, then it just soaks it all in and it feels so good. And I'm realizing, or from my research, I've been doing a lot of research online when it comes to hair for no reason. And when you do color your hair, it's a chemical process, and a lot of the time it lifts your cuticles up, or at least it gives you the characteristics of high porosity hair. It's funny because I always considered myself to have high porosity hair, but now when I wash my hair entirely, I really do feel like the cuticles are like a little more rough. So that's one thing that I've noticed, but I haven't noticed that my hair is drier than usual. But in any case, still deep condition your hair, okay? Thank you. Number 7 is proteins. So your hair is actually going to need support from proteins to thrive, especially if your hair is colored. So when you're going to deep condition, make sure that you're incorporating a protein deep conditioner as well as a moisturizing deep conditioner. So for me, what I'm doing is 1 week I do protein and the next week I do moisture. So I alternate between the two to make sure that my hair is getting a nice burst of protein as well as hydration. I use the Apogee protein set. I can't remember the name, but I'll put, a little bit of footage in the screen to show you. And I really enjoyed using it. However, it's not recommended to use that one too often. I have to use it once every 8 weeks or so. So my plan is to just alternate between my old protein deep conditioner as well as my moisturizing deep conditioner. Zermala highly recommends you to see a professional when doing your color. I talked about that earlier in the video, but I just want to emphasize it, that you want to see a professional. You don't want to do this at home, because honestly, when I was doing it with the stylist, I was like, damn, how do people do this at home? I know a lot of people just slap bleach and whatever on their hair, but it's a long process, first of all, but it's also it's very invasive to your hair. You want to see someone who knows what they're doing, especially if you don't know what you're doing. She also does not recommend using those box dyes from the beauty supply store or from the drugstore, because a lot of these dyes are metallic and they don't mix well with a professional color system. When I was talking to Z, she said that a lot of the clients that previously dyed their own hair at home will have to go through a color correction service before they can even get their hair colored by a professional. And she would even go as far as having someone sign a waiver if they already had their hair colored with a box dye, because the results are so unpredictable. So would not recommend you doing this at home, and would not recommend you using a box dye. When it comes to henna, it's also not recommended to mix henna with color or even professional color services. So that's something else that you'll need to consider. I think Natural85 recently posted a video about her using henna and then trying to get her hair dyed, and she realized that the two don't mix. So be careful when you're using henna, because henna basically coats your strands. You need to lift the cuticles and get through the cortex of your hair to strip the color. So they don't mix, okay? So be careful if you already have henna in your hair and then you're trying to color. You may want to go see a professional there as well. And that's it. Those are the main tips and recommendations when it comes to color. Make sure that you have a hair care routine. For me, nothing's changed too much when it comes to taking care of my hair now versus how I used to take care of my hair, except for the addition of protein into my routine. So having a hair care routine is still important. You want to deep condition your hair and you want to see a professional. Honestly, those are the main tips when it comes to color. Color can be pretty daunting at first, but if you do see a professional and follow what Jen J said, you should be fine. And honestly, natural hair should be fun. Natural hair should be something that brings you joy. So if you feel like you're in a part of your journey where your hair is more of a task and you really are not enjoying it, then switch things up. Okay, look at this. You don't have to do something as drastic as I did, but I would recommend it. Okay, switch things up. I have fallen in love with my hair all over again ever since I started coloring it. So I would highly recommend. All right, if you have any questions, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I'm actually thinking of inviting Z to one of my couch conversation series. It's been a while since I did that actually. So let me know if that's something that would be of interest, and you can ask her all your questions directly. So let me know down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.